Edward Mayrand was no ordinary criminal, a drifter who haunted the quiet campgrounds and bars of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. He liked to keep a low profile, but his crimes were anything but subtle. He charmed her over drinks, then offered to drive her home. But instead of taking her home, he turned into a dark, remote area. It began in December 1975. Edward approached a young woman in a bar. He beat her viciously, strangled her with her own scarf, and raped her in a cemetery. Without warning, he attacked, but she escaped bleeding, terrified, running barefoot through the woods until she found a house. The homeowners called police, and Edward was arrested. But in 1983, he was back on the streets. And then they left together. That same year, on November 7th, he was seen drinking with 25-year-old Kathleen Deneau at a restaurant in Gardner. They laughed. They drank. By morning, Kathleen was dead, strangled with fabric torn from her own blouse, her body dumped near a furniture factory. But with no physical evidence, police had to let him go. Witnesses pointed to Edward, but he denied knowing her, then changed his story, then denied again. At an AA meeting, he met 43-year-old Judith Whitney, a mother of 3. They bonded quickly, and by July, they were camping together in New Hampshire. Still dangerous, still free. While inside, he boasted to inmates about killing 2 women, one in Massachusetts, one in New Hampshire. Her Mustang was found abandoned. Edward was finally caught hiding in a closet like a coward. He admitted to driving her car, giving away her jewelry, but not murder. His parole conditions were strict: no alcohol, no leaving must. Then her dismembered body was found stuffed in garbage bags near Edward's residence. She had been strangled, then cut to pieces. In 1986, Edward was released again, this time sent to a halfway house. The evidence held. Edward pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 35 to 60 years. Racing against time, investigators got a DNA warrant. Days before his death, they collected a sample. But by June 1987, he was already breaking rules. On July 3rd, the motel staff noticed something. Old Edward was now alone. Days passed, then weeks. Judith was gone. But the timeline, witness accounts, and Edward's own actions were enough to close the case in the eyes of the law. Edward called the motel saying they had car trouble. But soon he disappeared along with her car. By July 20th, Judith's ex-husband reported her missing. 4 months later, Judith's decomposed body was found strangled with the drawstring of her raincoat. Again, Edward walked free. There just wasn't enough evidence. Then, in 1989, Edward was jailed briefly for having Judith's gun. Still, no charges. Years later, in 1994, he struck again. Edward met Patricia Paquette in a Providence lounge. She vanished for weeks. This time, witnesses stepped up. But what about Kathleen Judith? In 2010, cold case detectives reopened both cases. Edward was now gravely ill with lung cancer. He died in late 2011. Then in 2014, DNA from Kathleen's murder scene matched. It was Edward. As for Judith, her DNA evidence was too degraded. Closer! Mic drop ending. Edward Mayrand died without ever facing trial for 2 of his most heinous murders. But the truth caught up with him just in time. Some monsters wear no mask. They just drift through life, leaving death behind.